I managed to make $100 from my YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about how I did it and what I ended up buying with that first paycheck from Google. So without wasting any time, let's figure out how a literal nobody went from creating gaming content in his pastime,
holy crap,
to a nobody who does the same exact thing, but now has $100 in his bank account. I am mentally ill, but I'm not that crazy. Around late November 2022, I revisited my long since abandoned Let's Play channel and decided it was time for a change. While Let's Plays are fun to make and take fairly little effort, I realized that they weren't really doing it for me. Don't get me wrong, I still love simple gaming videos, but I wanted to do more. I proceeded to go through my video catalog, deleted or privated any videos that had under 100 views. For those of you wondering, that's why there was a random Fallout 4 Let's Play on the channel to this day. That aside, I essentially rebooted myself. All that was left was to drop the first of hopefully many future gaming reviews, and hope it does well. Safe to say, I was beyond ecstatic to see the love and support I received for the Doom 1 review. Although I do want to make sure one thing is very clear here, I got pretty lucky when I released this video, as it was shortly after the angry video game nerd himself made a video checking out the Doom series, which gave my video a little bit of a nudge in the algorithm, confirmed by the fact that I've received multiple comments on the video saying as much. But still, this was a big deal for me. Not only was it the first real bit of success I've ever received on the platform, it was also key in the lead up to earning my first paycheck from YouTube. Yeah, that's right, I wasn't just rambling on about my past. There was an actual point to all of this. For those of you who aren't in the know, YouTube requires you to meet a few criteria before you qualify for an AdSense account. In order to get your videos monetized, you need the following: at least 3 public video uploads, 1,000 subscribers, and 3,000 hours of watch time. Oh, or 3 million short views. Yeah, I'm never hitting that one. Hey, future Justin here. They've actually changed it again, but I didn't deal with this, so I'm just going to talk about what I went through. Although with the release of this Doom review, I managed to jump from 98 subscribers all the way into the 700s, and my public watch time also jumped up quite a bit. This sudden success was actually enough to give me a new drive to create more videos, and roughly a month later, I released the biggest video on this channel as of now. Yup, my overview and review of DK Oldies as of 2023 is my most viewed video by quite a large margin. 63,000 views ain't too shabby. I mean, hell, that's more than what the average modern day Rooster Teeth upload gets. Now, once again, I did earn favor with our Lord and Savior, the algorithm, with this topic, because not too long after I uploaded this video, DK Oldies got exposed for some pretty shady business practices.
Our team puts immense effort into cleaning and refurbishing our products.
look at the dust! They did not open this up.
Most notably with the way they handled their consoles, claiming that they refurbished each and every unit sold on their site, and that claim fell apart as soon as YouTubers started to open them up. However, thanks to all that controversy, my video reached a much wider audience than I'm used to, and once again the views went up and I gained another hefty subscriber wave, coinciding with the final push I needed to cross the watch time threshold and the subscriber goal. I was now monetized. But that was after the DK Oldies video peaked, so for the most part it didn't really give me too much money. Next, I dropped my personal favorite video of mine, a compilation of mini reviews of a select few Doom mods. Except this time, I was monetized throughout the entire process. So, if you guys were wondering how much money you'd make from a 30-minute video with advertisement, I'll be glad to show you. That makes me sad, but luckily the DK Oldies video managed to earn around the same amount a few months later. Oh wait, I think I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I didn't get this money all at once. As a matter of fact, I didn't get any money until mid-August 2023. Now, for those of you keeping track of things at home, you're probably wondering, how come you waited until you had $100 to pull your funds out of the AdSense account? Was it to ensure you had a substantial amount when you withdrew it? Fuck no, I'm stupid. It's because YouTube will only pay you out once you've accumulated at least $100 in your account. But when I finally hit that number, it was incredible. Seriously, despite the comparatively small amount of cash at play here, $100 is still a lot of money. Like everyone born in the early 2000s, becoming a YouTuber was the dream. And while I'm nowhere near that level, it felt incredible to get a step closer to that future. Now let's see how I wasted that money. Well, this is going to be a short video. Nintendo Switch games and honestly, Nintendo products as a whole have a reputation for never going on sale. First-party games like Mario and Zelda, yeah, those are never going to be on sale, but it's not just them. Third-party companies will also charge an inflated price when compared to other systems when they're on the Switch. Really weird, don't know why they do that. But if you frequent online stores, sometimes you can get lucky and snag a game with a decent price cut. So when I saw that Sonic Origins collection was on sale for $10 cheaper, I did the only sensible thing. I put the spoon on top of the God of War Ragnarok bundle PS5. Oh, and I bought it. Sonic Origins Plus launched on June 23rd, 2023. Now, it did get a standard digital-only launch a few months prior, but I want the one with the chunky cardboard sleeve that is too large to blend in with the rest of my Switch games, but also too similar to put anywhere else in my collection. It also has a pretty cool booklet if you buy it physically. This is another fine addition to the seemingly endless piles of Sonic compilations out there. Seriously, how many Sonic compilations have come out? I swear to God, every single system I've ever owned in my 2 decades of existence has had at least one. Jesus! Anyway, Sonic Origins is one of the better ones. Yeah, I know, drop a dislike because I know this compilation has a bit of a negative reputation amongst Sonic fans, but come on, all of Sonic's mainline platforming adventures, plus a few extra Game Gear games all included in one package, that alone is worth the asking price, and I'm talking about Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. No, what actually justifies this game's existence is the fact that these classic games are now running in widescreen. And believe me, it makes more of a difference than you would think. It is a seriously phenomenal feature that makes everything far more satisfying. The ability to see what's coming up just a bit further than the standard camera really helps enhance the gaming experience, supplying the player with the tools to correctly assess and properly avoid stage hazards and enemies, which was a classic issue facing these titles. Seriously, I don't know if I'm really getting my point across here. The widescreen really is the best feature in this collection, and thus has become my preferred way to play through these older titles. On top of that, there is actually a proper story mode here. Mission mode takes you through the events of Sonic's 1 through 3 and Knuckles, using gorgeous 2D animation to bridge the gaps between each game. These are a treat for the eyes, and this is absolutely my preferred look for classic Sonic. Of course, there also are a whole bunch of extras and bonuses, such as concept art and an archive of old promotional material. Cool, but at the end of the day, it is still just Sonic 1, 2, CD, and 3 and K, with minimal changes. Albeit Sonic 3's music has been, for the most part, replaced with new, not as good tracks. Unfortunate, but if you know the story behind the game's OST, this was probably the only way we were going to get the game in here. Though a few lamer music tracks absolutely does not ruin the package for me, this is a pretty good pickup all things considered. Oh, Amy is also playable. Someone from the 70s looked at this and said this was peak. Yes, I paid $25 to watch a square run away from a dragon, why do you ask? In all seriousness, the Atari Flashback Classics is a collection of over 150 old-school Atari games. As is to be expected, there are a ton of 2600 games in the package, taking up most slots if I had to guess. Yet, to my surprise, there are actually games from the other Atari platforms, the 5200 and arcade games to be exact, which is pretty cool. Sure, most of them still require a hell of a lot of imagination to really enjoy, but it's still great to see these lesser-known Atari systems and their respective games get some attention. The emulation quality is good, although I am far from the most informed individual when it comes to this family of systems. I did happen to notice some oddities when using the thumbsticks. The sensitivity is way too high. Trying to play a game of Tempest or Pong was an absolute slog because of this. One slight adjustment will send you flying so fast in the direction you pointed towards that you break the goddamn sound barrier and the space-time continuum collapses in on itself. This is pretty much just teleporting. I tried my hardest to adjust to it, but man, I could not get a handle on this. The Pong computer bodied me, for God's sake. I was trying here. Also, before any of you ask, no, there is no way to change the sensitivity. Using the D-pad, though, provides a bit more of a playable experience, but it hardly emulates the joysticks the original games were programmed to use. hey, Justin here. The original Pong console did not use that. They used knobs. And this sensitivity issue permeated the entire experience no matter what game I switched over to. Control issues aside, I am happy to own this collection. Sure, I did take a few jabs at the quality of these old games, but they have their place in gaming history, and owning an official way to enjoy some of these foundational gaming experience feels good. Also, that basketball is really funny to look at. Alright, this one's kinda easy to explain. I woke up one day and I was hungry. Now, originally I wrote a whole section about the meal I got at the time, which was Jamaican food. However, when I was about to order it again to film it for the B-roll, I realized that the spot I went to raised their prices dramatically. Instead, I got some local Chinese takeout, a General Tso's chicken combo to be specific. Not only is it delicious, but it's actually relatively affordable as long as you're only buying for yourself. On that note, and this is kind of separate, why the hell is fast food so damn expensive these days? Seriously, $3 for a single basic-ass McDonald's cheeseburger? No thank you.
So full of adventure. How marvelous.
What is there to say about Assassin's Creed Black Flag that hasn't already been said? It's widely considered to be one of the best games in the series, and it was certainly the last time I can recall such unanimous praise for one of these games. The AC games following this one have been divisive to say the least, so it feels nice to go back to a time when the series was renowned and well respected by the general gaming community. So I was more than happy to fork over $8 to add this game to my digital collection. And that's right, I still buy a few digital games here or there, despite me having what some may consider to be a problem. I'll always prefer physical media, but I cannot deny the convenience and ease that comes with digital games. Especially the deals. Oftentimes, on every gaming platform, minus Nintendo, you'll have a mountain of gaming deals to sort through. Okay, fine, Nintendo gets them as well, but I don't know about you. Pretty damn hard to find decent games amongst the literal never-ending piles of shovelware on that storefront. Meanwhile, on PlayStation and especially Xbox, you're mostly looking at some decent games, most of which are either a few years old or flops which the publisher is desperately trying to milk some money out of their corpse. Or Ubisoft games.
There he is, beating that dead horse.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Ubisoft games depreciate in value so damn fast, not even half a year after release sometimes, and you'll see these guys get their prices slashed in half. It's the primary reason why most gamers end up with at least one Assassin's Creed game, Far Cry, or Tom Clancy game in their library. And say what you will about Ubisoft's cookie-cutter open-world microtransaction formula, they had and still do have talent behind their projects, Black Flag being one of the most notable, and I'll certainly be back to discuss my more in-depth thoughts on this swashbuckling adventure soon enough. Game collecting in the 2020s is incredibly expensive. It's never been a cheap hobby, but nowadays the market is incredibly marked up. This is for a number of reasons, including but not limited to the success of retro gaming websites like DK Oldies and Double Jump Games. By the way, yes, I am the guy who made a positive video about them before the controversy popped up. And I will say right now, I mostly stand by what I said. Mostly. I do regret my overly positive tone, especially now that their shady business practices when it came to refurbishing consoles has been exposed. Still though, I say for the most part, buying games from them results in a pretty respectable quality. However, even then, I've had some issues. These fuckers gave me a 360 game in a normal disc case. You cannot do that. Jesus Christ, this is illegal in 5 countries. They also gave me 2 copies of the Assassin's Creed 1 manual. I mean, thanks? Now LA Noire can pretend to be a hooded white figure. Also, eBay prices are always fluctuating, more often than not leaning towards the higher end for physical games. But you know where you don't have to deal with any of that nonsense? Your local game store! Warning, results may vary. My local spot is a fairly small shop with a decent enough stock of games, ranging everywhere from the NES all the way up to the PlayStation 4. I bought a few 360 games, a modded original Xbox, which was damn sweet, and all of it was for a great price. I bought that original Xbox for a crisp $80. It's just great to walk into a store and see all these old games up for sale. And boy howdy did my man have some good stuff in store for today. A complete copy of Resident Evil 2 and Siphon Filter 2 on PS1. I don't really care about that second one, but it's still nice. Complete and in great condition, minus a scratch here or there. Unfortunately, I did have to pay market price for Resident Evil, which was $50. I was more than willing for such an iconic game in one of my favorite gaming series. I also grabbed Siphon Filter for 2 Andrew Jacksons because why the hell not? I don't mean to disrespect the fans of this series, I know for a fact it went on for quite a while, so someone out there must get down with that. But all I know about this series is that people felt underwhelmed when the PlayStation Classic included the first entry over something like Spyro. Then again, what do I know? I only played a short portion of the opening mission, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I did get a bit further into RE2, and I did enjoy what I played. It's just that the older, much more puzzle-focused Resident Evil games really require a time sink to enjoy. Around that time, I was too busy playing other video games. Actually, I think I was playing Doom 64 around that time for the video. Also, if you have a memory of me talking about these games before, you must be someone who checks out my community tab. Oh my god, it's been quite some time. Speaking of which, if you haven't already checked out my community post section, I post updates on upcoming videos, and I often do video poll ideas to help decide what gets made first. Anywho, let's check on the budget after picking up these 2 games. Oh, that's okay. I love eating holographic meatloaf. Anyway, that was all I picked up from the shop, but there was something incredible that caught my eye as I was leaving, and safe to say, I needed to have it. If you've kept up with my second channel, which you should, you would have already seen my best gaming purchase within recent memory. My modded Wii! Appearances can be deceiving, folks. For example, despite how I might look, I am not a twink, just a man sabotaged by his artist friends. Speaking of which, if you guys could head over to Finnegan's Twitter and give her a follow, I'd really appreciate it. She genuinely deserves the support. She makes some great stuff. Anyway, back to the video. This bad boy, which I picked up for a whopping $150, has already been packed full of awesome homebrew and includes pretty much every major Wii and GameCube title you can think of. All of the Zeldas, Marios, and even a splattering of Nintendo's other offerings on these 2 platforms, like Eternal Darkness on the GameCube or Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii. Oh, but that's not nearly the end either. Yeah, I'm never gonna finish my backlog. One of the, at the time, most popular features on the Wii was the Virtual Console. Through this program, you could play legacy titles on a wide range of older systems: NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega Genesis, and practically any other retro home console you could think of. Yep, we've got a bunch of those as well. Clearly this homebrewed Wii is more than worth the money I spent, but is it worth a lifetime sleeping next to the booty warrior? Yes, let's address the elephant in the room. That's fucking stupid. I can't believe I wrote that. Oh my god. Yeah, as you probably guessed, all of the preloaded software on this system is obviously ROMs running off of this SD card right here. Now, this isn't emulation since we're playing off of original hardware. It's just piracy. I don't really feel like digging up this ethical debate on whether or not downloading ROMs of games which haven't been sold for decades now is bad or not. Mostly because I can't get a damn handle on where the process stands legally. But for what it's worth, the store owner let me know that these ROMs were taken from his inventory of retro games, as opposed to being downloaded from some sketchy website. Take with that what you will. I can't comment on where that stands morally, since I sold my integrity away in 7th grade to play Pokemon Emerald on my crappy Android phone. However, I have unanimously decided that this is the coolest thing I've ever bought. It's allowed me all the benefits of a homebrewed system with none of the work, easy as it can be, at a fair price point no less, and with my relatively small technical knowledge, I was able to add a few of my own games to the console. Don't ask me where I got them. Once again, I sold my integrity in middle school, allowing me to experience many of my childhood favorites, as well as popping my cherry on a few awesome games on the Wii and GameCube. Now, I haven't really had the time to delve deep into my newfound collection of Wii and GameCube games, but I have been really enjoying my time with Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles, a railgun interpretation of the first few Resident Evil games, and it does a fairly decent job at translating these slow burn atmospheric horror games into a genre where you can literally only shoot things. Clearly it's not perfect. Hell, some people actually argue it ruins the originals. Yeah, not really sure if I agree with that, but at the end of the day, my biggest problem with the game is, well, it suffers from some pretty bad performance at times. You'll run into constant frame rate drops and choppy stuttering during gameplay. Never anything unplayable, but it does hamper the experience. All that said, it's still a fun time, and at the end of the day, isn't that all that matters? Speaking of pure, unabridged fun, you wanna watch a monkey and a hamster ball roll down these incomprehensible ramps in the middle of a void with bananas that are officially sponsored by the Dole Fruit Company? The same ones that overthrew a government? Yes, I watched that Salmonella video! In that case, Super Monkey Ball might be the game for you. It was the first home console port of this iconic Sega arcade cabinet, translating it over to console fairly faithfully from what I can see. Now granted, I haven't really played much of the arcade Super Monkey Ball, but from what I can gather, the physics are very similar. It's always very satisfying. Although, I will admit here, the main mechanic of this game revolves around you tilting the maze to get the monkey in the ball into the goal. Now, it took my brain an embarrassingly long amount of time to comprehend that fact. I mean, even at the start of the game, it already bombarded me with too many choices. Mini games, 2-player mode, 1-player mode, 3 selectable playable characters. I don't know what a Gon is, but he looks like he's gonna hurt my family if I don't pick him. Now, I'm sure a lot of you might be wondering why I haven't mentioned pretty much any other first-party Nintendo game. Well, that's because my tastes in gaming are very bizarre. Although, there is one more game I've been playing a lot of.
Super Smash Brothers Melee!
I am by no means an expert on this or fighting games in general, but let me tell you, Melee is a good time, with friends or even by yourself as you run through the myriad of single-player challenges or extra modes, especially Home Run mode. No idea why, but flinging this oddly creepy punching bag thousands of miles away is ridiculously addicting, and I still think Smash Ultimate is better. That's not the game's fault though, it's very difficult for anything to compete with the unmatched volume of content in the latest Smash game. Sans is in it, for God's sake. I thought YouTubers were supposed to be making bank from playing games all day. Jokes aside, thank you all for watching me up to this point. It's your support that helped me make this small sum of money off the platform, and it's you who make creating these videos worth it. Until you disagree with my opinions, after that all bets are off. I'll probably throw a fit and cry on Twitter for a few days. Originally, I was gonna lead into the outro here, but I figured you all would want to know where my YouTube funds are at now, especially because it's been a whopping 5 months since I got paid originally. Yeah, I put this video off for quite some time. Regardless, my current AdSense account is at a crisp $47. I can't even take that out yet, so if you really think about it, I have nothing.